Muraho Africa, welcome to Bite-Sized Democracy, a weekly show focusing on issues around democracy in Africa. This show gives a snapshot of what's happening on the continent in fun, informative, bite-sized segments. On this show today, we'll be talking about the recently concluded AU Summit held in Kigali, and my co-host for the day is Elizabeth. Welcome to the show, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much for having me. So the recently concluded 27th AU Summit began from the 10th to the 18th of July. It had a fantastic theme. It was the Year of Human Rights with a particular focus on the rights of women. Now, this summit was held in Kigali, Rwanda for the very first time, and I found this a perfect location for the summit because Rwanda has been, recognized as one of the leading countries, not only in Africa, but in the world, with regards to its empowerment of women and girls. I mean, we see this in their domestic affairs, in the sense that they have a 64% representation of women in parliament, as well as a 39% representation of women in government. And at the summit, the AU Commission Chair, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma herself, she mentioned in the objectives that what we desire in Africa is a society where men and women work together to fight poverty, hunger and disease, to resolve conflicts and to build solutions that actually make a difference. So essentially, what we want in Africa is a society where men and women work together to make the continent the great continent that we know it to be. And as a result of these objectives, we realized that countries like Rwanda itself, South Africa, Tunisia, and Algeria were all awarded prizes in recognition of them actually promoting, these women's rights and gender equality.
Speaking of outcomes, the African Union has come out to clarify that Morocco did not address or attend any of the meetings at the AU Summit, but they sent correspondence to President Deby of Chad of their intentions to join the African Union after 32 years of not being in the African Union. What were some of the other outcomes of the summit?
Some of the other outcomes was the launch of the African Union passport. There was also the launch of the free trade area zone, which is going to be up and running in 2017. And there was also a creation of a roaming-free telecommunications network between Gabon and Rwanda. And seeing as the summit was a platform upon which new leaders were to be elected, the election of the AU Commission Chair was postponed to next year, in January, simply because after 7 rounds of voting, the 3 candidates, one from Equatorial Guinea, one from Botswana, and the other from Uganda, none of them had a 2/3 majority vote. And as a result, they had to postpone this election to next year, 2017. And now, as you can see, all these outcomes tie in with Agenda 2063.
Speaking of Agenda 2063, which is actually focused a lot on young people, development and the future, I've realized that a lot of young Africans, go to social media to express themselves a lot. And I really found an interesting hashtag this week, which is Dear Young Person. And one of the tweets came from Advocate Tuli Madonsela, and it says, #Dear Young People, play your part. Break the cycle of hatred, bigotry, and the fear of those that are not like you. And also another user, Lesiba, says, Dear young person, never let your dreams be shattered by circumstances around you. Grow above them and become what will blow your circumstances away.
Wow, and speaking of young people, we have Rwanda's very own Jean Bosco Nzeyimana. He's our African of the Week because he was one of 3 entrepreneurs at the 2016 Global Entrepreneurs Summit in Silicon Valley. And among the people he was addressing was President Barack Obama and Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook.
Wow.
What makes this young man very special is that he's only 19 years of age, and he has already established a company called Habona Limited. It employs 25 people already, and he expressed very clearly that what he desires is to see society continue to move forward.
Very impressive, absolutely very impressive. And I think we'll be speaking about him in history. He'll be one of those people that we'll remember. Actually, speaking about history, Charles Taylor of Liberia was actually ousted on this day, the 2nd of August, 13 years ago. Did you know that?
Wow, I had no idea.
And also, activist and songwriter Fela Kuti was also born on this day. I know you're too young to know who Fela Kuti is. So, did you know that the Second DR Congo War started on this day in 1998 and only ended in 2003 when the transitional government led by President Kabila came into power?
Speaking of war, the gruesome genocide that took place in Rwanda is one of the first things that comes to mind. but we see how Rwanda has made a remarkable recovery. You know, there's new developments and new improvements in the country. And, you know, with all the good things said about Rwanda, I came across a quote just the other day by author Naomi Benaron. And, you know, she says very interestingly that wherever God spends the day, he comes home to sleep in Rwanda, you know. And I found that very encapsulating of the country's achievements and how Rwanda has become a trailblazer, you know, within Africa.
Wow, I like to think that God sleeps at my house. But anyway, on that note, thank you so much, Elizabeth, for hosting with me today. It was a pleasure to have you here. Join us next week for next week's show. We'll be discussing the upcoming municipal elections in South Africa. Thank you for watching our show, Muvir Africa.